It's TDS Radio. Your girl So Fab here and Coach Block.
What's going on?
It's 2024 and we're back.
We are back. It is that time for TDS Radio.
Hey.
We've been gone for quite some time.
Yeah, we needed a rest.
You turn the inside mic up, down.
Mm-hmm.
The inside mic.
We
we needed some time. But yeah, we're here.
It's 2024.
It's 2024. Congratulations for everybody who has made it. And even for those who did not, let me get this out my face because the camera is in front of us. And let's talk. 2023 is over. Let's talk new.
It is.
And let's be happy to have new. I'm happy to have a new start. Are you?
I am. 2023 kicked my ass. But there was a lot of good that happened with it. Of course, we had F of Nights and the success behind that.
Yeah.
Our station has grown a lot. We found a new home. We found a great community. And I mean, we even found someone who trusts us with their brand, so shout out to the healing consultant.
Yeah. So she'll be here next week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of good things that's going on. And to be completely honest, that's what the focus is for me for 2024. We don't have foolishness to talk about, but negativity, we're not going to harp on that. There's enough of that going around every single place that you can possibly find. And so we don't want to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because I don't necessarily usually I have a joke to start out with. I ain't got one. It's just positive.
I'm glad. That's a good space to be in.
New for me because I am grumbly Groove. Ain't nobody more grumbly than me. But there's so much stuff that we want to do positive that you can't continue to carry a negative attitude. So why continue to carry a negative attitude when there's just nothing but good things that you have in your future? And it's tough because life be lifing.
Yes.
And nigs be nigging.
Absolutely.
Because I done had enough of that and them already.
Keep it positive.
And we have plenty of those tales coming up.
Which, yes.
We're going to call those teacher tales.
Yes. You know what? Hey, Teacher Tale Tuesday.
Teacher Tales, because I promise you, I am tired of other people's kids. I don't care if I lose my job.
Keep it positive. We were doing good.
Were we doing good?
We
my
were
bad.
Doing good.
I am tired of other people's kids.
But I will say with 2024, we're doing a lot of exciting things, which means that, of course, we'll be live. You can always listen at tdsradio.com. But we are bringing new and improved segments. Today, we have our entertainment news segment. We have some birthday shout outs. We're doing our messy letter. For those of you who remember that, it is back. And then we are introducing the unfortunate dating tales of SoFab Kim.
Can't wait for these.
Jesus Christ. Dating is an experience. And then we also have our small business conversations. Tonight we have Brittany Turner.
Brittany Turner will be here of Sprout and Spice.
Yay. So super
That'll
exciting.
Be at 8:00. So make sure you stay locked in. And guys, please engage with us. You can always leave a comment and we will make sure we engage with you and read the comments, post the comments. If any of the foolishness you guys want to say something, by all means, don't hesitate to say. And at all times, we would love to have a like, a share, and a follow on any of our social media platforms. That helps us tremendously just to be able to continue the content that we are doing because, wow, we love y'all. This ain't free, y'all. This ain't free. But we love you. So what do we got coming up first?
So coming up in just a bit, we are going to have our entertainment news. There is a lot that has been circulating with Cardi B and Offset. T.I. and Tiny are in trouble yet again. Again. We'll talk about that.
Did you see that picture of her? If any man rightfully says T.I. doesn't cheat, and if any woman doesn't say, you know what, I understand, after seeing that picture of what she looks like,
he did her wrong. Like, why did you hand me the phone if you knew you were on live and I'm sitting here looking crazy?
She did herself wrong. Why did you shoot your face with all that? You know what I mean? Like, and if he did, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, and we're going to go to break. Yeah. T.I. is a stand-up guy to still hold in tight. Because I don't know who, could you imagine that's the first thing when you be like, you roll over and you You see, T.I., hey man, I stand. And when you talking about standing on business, that standing on business. And congratulations, because clearly black men don't cheat. That is a loyal man.
Okay.
And I am proud of you, T.I.
Till we get to the story, but that is coming up shortly. Of course, when we go to our break, we're going to switch over to our music. So make sure you're listening on TDS Radio, and then you can interact with us live here on our social media platforms, YouTube and Facebook. So when we come back, you can interact with us there, or you can keep listening on air, whichever works for you.
Yeah. So please hold on one second, and we'll be back with more foolishness. TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. Yeah, oh, but it's off, right?
Yes.
So you can turn that down, right?
My mic?
Yeah.
Yes, mics are down. So usually what I did for Kia is scroll up. I'll just play something just so there's some.
I was going to actually cut up with people because right now we're just off air, right?
Yeah, we're off air.
Okay. For a second.
Yeah.
But if you turn my mic up, then they can hear me on the radio, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, yes. No. So we don't have the mics in.
So right now, hey man, y'all can hear me, right? So we're taking a break right now. So if you guys would like to listen to the music, just go to tdsradio.com. And there you can hear the music. Right now, this is kind of this is a commercial break. So for those who are live, a music break. I'm sorry, you're watching the music break. So if you're live, this is where you can really interact with us backstage until we put up the "We'll be right back" sign. I just feel like that needs to be explained so people don't be like, "Where'd you go?" Like that's where we went. So when you see the "We'll be back" sign, but until that time, you are able to comment. And here is where you can hear the music, tdsradio.com. I did put that up there for you guys. And it's all as you can see the scroller, and also then you can look in the comments section. And if anything is going on technical wise, please always let us know. So if the sound ain't right, yeah, because nothing's worse than us being and then it ain't working. That's terrible. And once again, share, like, follow, all those things, all that helps support TDS Radio. And when we come back, we will have some foolishness for you guys. So please, some foolishness. We will have some foolishness.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes. Enjoyed it. Hey, for the people who are watching, just give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Go listen to the radio station, tdsradio.com.
It's a vibe.
The link is in the bio. We'll be back.
I keep forgetting we can stream the Instagram. I forgot to set that up.
Well, right now we won't be able to though.
Well. Why you need a mouse?
Where is it?
Scroll
Oh.
up.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
It's TDS Radio.
Yo.
Your girl's so fab. Coach Block.
Yeah.
We are back. Yeah, figuring all this out. That mic is 2, right?
Yes.
All right. So we are back. And we are in the midst of our entertainment segment. And before we took a quick break, we were talking about T.I. and Tiny.
Don't talk about that man. That man is a saint. Okay. You see what he wake up to.
Okay. Not according to this lawsuit. So
looking like this.
Shut up.
I said,
So T.I. and Tiny were sued yesterday by a woman who accused the couple of drugging and raping her after she met them at a Los Angeles nightclub. Now, this was around 2005. In the lawsuit filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, which extended the statute of limitations for sexual abuse claims. The woman is identified as only Jane Doe. She's a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and was around 22 or 23 during the time of the incident. Okay. Now, she previously gave her account of the alleged assault and its aftermath in an interview with the New York Times in 2021. I don't know if you guys remember that interview that happened, and this is when this whole thing exploded, when she spoke on the condition of just being anonymous to protect her family. Now, in the lawsuit, the woman accuses T.I., who was 43, and his wife, which is 40, I didn't know she was older than him, of sexual battery.
She looks it.
Battery, sexual assault, negligence, false imprisonment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, and is seeking damages. Now, in a statement provided by a lawyer for the couple, he is denying the accusations, I'm pretty sure some of you have seen, and calling the civil suit a shakedown. He says, this plaintiff has been threatening to file this lawsuit for 3 years. For 3 years, we have emphatically and denied these allegations for 3 years, and we have maintained our innocence and refused to pay for these demands or things that we didn't do. He says, we are innocent of these fake claims, and we will not be shaken down, and we look forward to our day in court. Now, prosecutors in Los Angeles have previously declined to pursue criminal charges against the Harrises in this incident, citing the statute of limitations. But as I mentioned earlier, without the strength and weaknesses of the evidence being evaluated, the case is declined due to the expiration. Yes. The Los Angeles County authorities wrote in the charges that was filed back in 2021. But now that they have this new act, she can now come back and legally sue. But the crazy thing is there are 11 other people who have a lawsuit filed against them, and 4 of them are claiming that they were drugged by T.I. Now, her account is saying that she met both of them at a club during that time. You know, they were all set to party with some of his crew. And next thing you know, she said she was feeling a little funny and she felt nauseated, but she can recount, you know, being sexually assaulted, and even said that she remembers T.I. putting his toe in her vulva.
So what?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay. Yes.
Here it was. I'm like Dave Chappelle in his stand-up. Here we go. So now, 22 years old, this happened to you.
22, 23.
Okay, and this was how many years ago?
This was in 2005.
So this was roughly about 8 years ago, 9 years ago. All right, 9. Okay, so that was 9 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Longer?
Yeah, it's 2024 or 20 something.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
Oh. And now we want to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
There was no police report filed during the time or within the statute of limitation at all. So how much does she want?
It does not say. It doesn't say how much she wants. But what I am focused on is that there are 11 other people who are saying that they have been victimized by the Harrises.
We are hanging out with somebody who glorifies selling drugs. He is the trapper. He's the trap star rapper.
Yeah.
Molly and all this stuff is all about in their music. So do I believe that it happened? It's a possibility that it happened. My question is always, why do we wait so long? Now, children, I get it. You know what I'm saying? We talking about kids. I totally get it. 22, a little bit too old.
At 22, I can honestly say that if I'm going up against a powerhouse like T.I., I don't know how comfortable I would be filing a lawsuit when I know that something happened to me. That is scary. It's extremely scary.
And I bet it is. I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying now here we are. So between 22 and that was 19 years ago. So this woman is possibly now 40 something odd years old.
Mm-hmm.
Then we wait till the statute of limitation is lifted. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, some of it, you don't want to ever, I'll put it to you like this. I don't ever want to be the person to doubt
Right.
that something has happened, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be the person to be that. But I also know that there are people out here who fabricate things.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, because the first thing that anybody watching this is going to say is, well, have you ever been a victim? No, well, that's a lie. But when I was younger, yes, 12 years old. But when I have been on the opposite side of it, where somebody accuses you of doing something that you did not do.
Right.
So then that's why I look at it and say, well, let's put out the facts and don't hold anything back. Because the other part that we get is we get situations where people start to hold details back. Like, oh, well, I got paid now, so now everybody's quiet. No. If you did it, that person has done it. Let's see this thing all the way through. Let's make sure we go to court. Let's not settle. All the things that have been done need to be put out so that when that person says guilty, that judge says guilty, we know by a jury of your peers, everything that has been put down has been co-signed.
Yes, and I don't think that matters because look at R. Kelly. People are still like, he did all these terrible things, and they're still supporting him. So
It's his music.
What does it matter?
It's his music.
People are still going to listen to T.I.
People listen to and support some terrible people.
They do. I mean, we
Like,
still watch movies with Harvey Weinstein, and still think he's the greatest. So, I mean, what I do agree. I think it's, horrible for someone to lie because I've seen where people have lied. But there's been a lot circulating around T.I. and Tiny and that group of friends and even Candy that she hangs out with and some of the really, really like suspect things that you guys kind of do. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not going to say like, oh, y'all did it, but I'm not completely to the point where I'm like, I don't think y'all, I'm not going to say that they're innocent. I'll put it that way.
Well, what do y'all think? Put it in the comment section. Let us know. Do you think Tiny and T.I. did any of these things? And I mean, I have jokes, but I won't say them at the expense that there are people who may have suffered. But I mean, during this time, it seems to be that there was a lot going on amongst the celebrity world. You get what I'm saying? Like during this time, there's a lot going on in this celebrity world that, there has to be people who solid who can co-sign. You get what I'm saying? Like bodyguards, stuff like that. There got to be people who can co-sign some of this stuff.
There are, but once again, money talks. Like I'm pretty sure there are people who can vouch for a lot of suspect things that have happened. But if you know that by stepping out, that's going to put a target on my back and potentially be blackballed, and I might not find a job again. People are like, nah, I'm good. I mean, think about our community. When something happens, it'd be like, we ain't gonna say nothing. We ain't snitching. But you don't know that could potentially help somebody.
True. Because then when you do snitch, people treat you like Charleston White. And all he's doing is telling the truth. People get mad at what that man is saying, but all he's doing is telling the truth about our community. And everybody's like, but look at his eye. Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with his eye?
He got a glass eye. So it looks lazy. So people don't know this. His right eye is actually a glass eye. So everybody want to talk about his eye, but he actually popped it out before. But he ain't doing nothing but telling the truth about our community. And then when you do the history of Charles White, you find out that brother actually did a lot of positive things for the community, but they treated him bad when he was, bow tied. So his game of what he's doing now was actually calculated. But needless to say, during this time between the Diddy's of the world, the T.I.s and all that, hey man, there was some wild stuff going on. And is it still going on? That's the other thing. Like, are these parties, is this stuff still happening? And if it is, why do they have participants at these things? At some point in time, are you thinking it's not going to happen to you, huh?
Possibly. And then things get real fast, and before you know it, it's like, I didn't want that. And I mean, honestly, at any point, if somebody says no, then you no longer have to consent to continue on whatever act it is that you're doing. So, but
you're my little secret. That's why you should keep it. Candy sounds horrible in that song.
I have my thoughts about Candy, but I'm going
did they let her hit that note like that? Okay, move on.
So we all know New Year's Eve, it seemed like a lot of people were in the house. I don't think too many people were partying. I think a lot of people were scared because 2023 kicked their ass. But one person that was not inside was Cardi B and her husband Offset.
I'm glad. Now, you know what? I love their ratchet. I love it. I love everything about their ratchet.
For those of you who do not know, Cardi B and Offset decided to split with possible threats of divorce. And Cardi B went on social media and was crying and completely hysterical because she was alleging to the fact that Offset may have cheated again and she was just brokenhearted. But all of that changed once New Year's Eve rolled around. The two were spotted at a strip club together in Miami shortly after Cardi B's performance for New Year's Rockin' Eve, whatever it is that Ryan Seacrest does. And she went ahead and doubled down and told everybody, like, yes, I wanted to get some on New Year's. And, while y'all using y'all roses, I'm using my baby daddy. And, I needed some on that holiday. And she said the two were vibing together and enjoyed themselves. But she also said that does not mean that they will get back together. So one thing I have learned from celebrities is I'm going to mind my business because that was insane. But
yeah, and everybody was, that's the ops. And he went with the ops and the ops. I don't even know what that means. Bottom line is, mind your business.
Pretty much.
She went right back and made all y'all Cardi B fans and she went to, I hope she stayed. I hope she stayed. I got a friend, I hope she stayed. She didn't. And I told you she's not because that is her dude. That's what their level of toxic dysfunction, this is what they do. And in certain relationships, we've all seen them where you get to a point where why are y'all even together? But they just can't separate themselves. And she is invested by a child with this person. She's 2 children. So at the end of the day, man, Cardi is going to be Cardi and y'all going to be y'all.
And it's just best for us to mind our business and let her do her, because that's essentially what she told us, mind our business. She told her entire fan base to mind their business. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And,
hey.
Moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted. LaToya Luckett, she broke the internet today when she decided, LaToya Luckett, she was one of the previous Destiny's Child members.
She was one of the bitter ones at the time, right?
Allegedly, yes. Mm-hmm. But, she decided to release a photo from her reuniting with Beyonce and Kelly and Latavia and Michelle. This was backstage when they were at the Renaissance World Tour in Houston together. And she said that was literally one of the best moments for her for 2023. Now, this does not mean that they are going to get back together. It does not mean that an album is on the way. It does not mean that a tour is on the way. She just wanted to show some love to her girls. It would be nice if they kind of reunited, but we're going to take things for exactly what they are in 2024 and nothing more.
I wish Beyonce and them would do that.
It would be dope. But
you know how much money, it's about money. Now she, of course, standalone by herself is, a juggernaut. But if she did a Destiny's Child tour with them together,
people are flocking to that.
My God, she could literally go back on tour again and make just as much money again.
Oh, absolutely. People would flock to that. I would go. I would go.
I wonder if people did that with the Drew Hill one, because the big nigga, he just ain't got that. He ain't got that bounce no more. I just wonder what he does. Does he still try it? Have you seen any videos of this?
I've heard people say that Drew Hill still got it.
Can he still hit that?
I don't know.
That bounce. Because which one was he? Which one was the big one on Drew Hill?
I don't know. I just know Nico is the one that did a lot of the rap.
Yeah, because that one that tell me what you want. You got to hit that bounce. As a big guy, I know my knee would be like, just hit the sweat. Tell me what you need left, right. Because if you hit that jump and that knee don't support right, and you fall like Genuine did on the stage, because that was crazy.
Insane. That is not a part of this segment.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Congratulations are in order for Snoop. Mr. I Keep a Check. He, according
Even though
to
I kind
Sunday-
of like those Snoop Skechers, but I think I'm just old myself. They look pretty cool.
haven't
T.I.
seen
had some on. They call it. Never mind. Go ahead.
It was announced on Sunday that the rapper turned media personality will be joining the NBC network. He's going to be announcing the 2024 Summer Olympics. So he's going to do some coverage. He's going to be flying out to Paris and teaming up with some of the anchors there. And he's going to be all over. They're going to have him exploring their different city landmarks and attending different Olympic competitions and events. And he's going to visit with the athletes, their friends and family. So he's going to be completely immersed into the experience.
You know where that started from?
Was it Kevin Hart?
No, with him being like a commentator from boxing.
Really?
So he did a couple boxing. He did a couple boxing events, and people absolutely loved him when they was doing that. So Uncle Snoop. I guess I don't know if they're going to allow him to be Snoop because he was definitely Snoop at the boxing things. Yeah, he took an eye jammy. You like Snoop? Everybody don't know what an eye jammy is, but hey, cheers for Snoop.
Yeah.
Because we are the culture. That's what I'm saying. Like, we are so entertaining on so many levels. And everybody, I don't know too many people that don't like Snoop. Even if they don't like his music, they kind of like him as a personality. Mm-hmm. So I don't know too many people who don't like Snoop. And I'm glad to see that he's still winning. Yeah. After all this time. We've been watching Snoop since he's 19 years old.
Sheesh. Keep that check, black man. Keep that check.
And if you want to call in the TDS radio somehow, you get this, man. Hey, we would love to have some conversation with the Snoop D-O-double-G. I would. You know what I'm saying? If you're ever we're not in Charlotte. We're in Durham. Yeah. If you're ever in Durham, the Bull City, man, holla at us. I don't know why you'd be here, but
yeah, might be performing. We get
Deepak right down the street.
We get a lot, and then PNC Arena gets a lot of people. So you never know. Shoot for
has
stars.
Deepak ever had a Snoop concert?
Ooh, I don't know. They had the Rock the Bells tour with LL and Ice Cube.
Did y'all see this man?
He looks good for his.
He looks phenomenal, but he still
I like that sweatshirt.
I was just about to say, in that whack velour sweatsuit that he was like.
It looks soft.
He looked like Fozzie Bear. He looked like Waka Waka Waka.
It looks soft. I was like, oh, what would have been dope is if he came out in a FUBU outfit to give us the whole nostalgia fit.
It probably was FUBU, but it looked like Fozzie Bear.
It was cute.
Anyway.
Go LL.
Go LL. Don't wear no more velour suits like that. What's next?
Coming up after our short break.
My man Joe called him a licking buster.
Oh, y'all gonna stop talking about LL.
He still came out something like a phenomenon. This ain't 99.
Yes.
Nah. My man looked like Fozzie Bear, yo.
The lip flipping wasn't quite where it used to be. It was like a dirty old man.
Because he got so much Botox in his face.
Like, ew.
He got all that Botox in his face. He can't do it.
Like, what the hell is that?
He can't do it no more with all that damn Botox in his face.
But you still look good. I'm here for it.
Hey, I ain't hating. I hope, he's 50?
Yeah, 56.
I hope I see it. Then I hope I look like that when I see it. Y'all gonna just be watching old TDS radios of me. He was talking about a dude in this Fozzie Bear outfit. Waka, now who got the last laugh? Waka Waka, nigga.
We gotta take a break. We'll be back with birthday shout outs. TDS Radio.
Birthday shout outs coming up next. TDS Radio.
Voice, our culture. Oh, of course, Genuine will be on same OG. 30 seconds. It's TDS Radio, your girl So Fab and Coach Block here.
Yo, what's good? What's up? Hey, man, for the people who stay on for that quick little break, we appreciate you.
Oh.
Because I see, we be having like 5 people, then it dropped down to like 2. So the 3 that leaves, stop leaving. Or tune in on the radio
it's
side.
The music.
Yeah, tune in on the radio side. Dang, don't just leave us. That's crazy.
But with that being said, birthdays.
Birthday shout outs, man. I want to give a birthday shout out. So here's the thing. If you would like to have your birthday shout out or a loved one's birthday shout out, please don't hesitate to go ahead and throw that in the comment section because I will read the shout out and we can give them a big happy birthday from TDS Radio. We love you and we love your birthdays. All right. So we got 3 major birthdays today from our friends list. Birthday number 1, we're going to go with Pastor Carrie Carter, who is a strong, fitted one.
Woo.
Be proud of your age. I'm going to say your age because be proud of your age. Then we have Adrian Jones, head coach of Shaw University, who is a strong 5-0 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yay.
Birthday, Coach Jones.
Woo.
And my second mama, Miss Lisa Anderson.
If
you haven't followed Miss Lisa Anderson, I advise you to go follow her. You know why? Because when I tell you determination, dedication, commitment, all that stuff to just changing, your weight and how you feel about yourself, between her, my fiance, and her, man. But it's her birthday, so we're gonna talk about her. She looks fabulous for 5'9". So
that's right.
we are rounding that corner to 60. But give these people some shout out and some love and some follow. If you can, if their page ain't private, because you know how people do. But once again, we would once again, we would like to give a great TDS shout out of happy birthday to you. I don't want to do no celebrities. We're just gonna leave it right there because there's no cool. No, I'm not gonna say there's no cool celebrities because Hank Gibson, he's cool. What's his name?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. It's his birthday. Anybody else's birthday out there?
Lloyd. She's fine too, but I want you.
Let me chill because I feel like y'all gonna drag me all the time.
And should.
Why? Because Lloyd.
You be grumpily Groove.
Because I don't want to. You just gave Lloyd a whole shout out.
Yeah.
Blah, I guess.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
I don't know if people are fans of him anymore.
That's Peyton's little brother.
Oh.
Well, not really. He got more Super Bowl wins than him.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Danica McKellar, Wendy from what was it? The Wonder Years.
Wonder Years, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her birthday. She's 49. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we need to show that picture because Wendy don't look like Wendy no more. And neither do I. So if you got a birthday shout out, please don't hesitate to go ahead and hit us up. If you would like us to shoot somebody out, if it's not
shout someone out.
What'd I say? Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shoot someone.
Oh, wow. If you would like to shout someone out, please make sure you go ahead and hit us up, hit our line up. Even if it's not the day today, but if this is their birthday week, we would give them a shout out on TDS Radio. Hey, and even if you like to dedicate a song to them, hit us up. We won't play it today, but we can play it tomorrow and give you a birthday song. Anybody got a special birthday song that they would like to hear, go ahead and hit us up and we will put it out there. And with that being said, coming back up, it's my fun time. Mm-hmm. It's called the messy letter. Mm-hmm. This is where I like to have fun because you people be in these wild ass relationships and then want to tell people on social media. And so to me, it's hilarious to talk about these things. So when we come back, we have a messy letter with an anonymous person because y'all don't be having the balls to put your name up there. Oh. So we'll read it and then we'll discuss what you should do in your love life and your business because you put it out there. This is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. One song?
I think I'm gonna 10 seconds. We actually have a graphic with Messy Letter. It's TDS Radio. Your girl Soul Fab here. Coach
Yo,
Block.
what's
We're back.
going on?
We are back, and it is your favorite time.
Messy letter time.
Yes.
Messy letters. I know you guys out there who love messy. Let's do it.
So let's get into the letters, shall we?
Shall.
It says, I am currently in a relationship with a younger guy, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have been seeing each other for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, but he doesn't trust me because I've made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He is very faithful, but has no job. He does odd jobs to bring in money, but he cannot foot the whole bill. I work and I have a child. Recently, we broke up because of finances. I met another man that is my age and stable. I started talking back to the younger guy and left my stable guy alone. I do love my young guy, but I feel like I missed out by passing up on my stable guy. Help.
So the young guy has better sex.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's all he got to give.
I mean, because he ain't got no job, ain't got no money, ain't got no fancy car. Okay, what are you doing? It's sex.
It has to be.
Because she didn't say she did she say love?
Oh, what do you mean by love?
Did she say love to the young guy?
She said, I do love my young guy.
But
I feel like I missed out by passing up on the stable guy. Help.
Missed out. You didn't miss out. You left the young guy for the stable guy and went back to the young guy who has no job.
Yes. And she said that he has odd jobs to bring in money, but he can't foot like all of the bills. So yeah.
Well, you know what? Don't get me started on that 50-50 stuff. Like that's another day. The bills. So if he has odd jobs and he's helping or whatever, okay. But if he's not, because she's saying he doesn't have any money, he has no real job, then once again, what do you do all day?
And at least he's faithful. I know broke niggas that'll cheat.
That's what she thinks. She's at work. How she know?
Oh yeah, that's true. You know.
He ain't got no job. Like, come on, man. And then, so then you're willing to stay with somebody who has no employment, but you love them over the person who you feel like you have stability with. I don't understand that, but some people may do that. I don't get that. Because do you really love the person that doesn't have the ability to provide? And why is he not providing anything? Or does the odd jobs provide something? Like,
she said it just doesn't cover the whole bill. So
okay.
She said,
okay.
I've made mistakes. He is very faithful, but has no job. He does odd jobs to bring in money, but he cannot foot the entire bill.
She's stupid. Because you just and my man Joe said the same thing. She's foolish. I agree. You would have to be completely foolish to deal with somebody who you said can't cover the whole bill, but you love them. And you met somebody who is going to create stability to only go back to the younger person to miss the person with stability and feel like you missed out on an opportunity.
Yes. Because she said, I feel like I missed out by passing up on my stable guy. Help. I would have to
ask, what did you feel like you missed out on? Because here's the other thing. If you actually love the person who does not have the job, getting a job can happen. The question is, why doesn't he have a job?
That was going to be my thing. So what's going on here to where this man cannot work, or is he choosing not to have a job?
So what is it that's going to cause you to not want to work? Because even if you have a job and provide something, you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I know I don't make $1 million, but here's something towards what we got going on. Okay, got you. You getting up, you're going to work. But to not have a job, hey man, Bojangles is paying 15.
odd jobs. So when I hear someone say that they're doing odd jobs,
Oh,
why
man.
can't you keep steady employment?
That's the person who be like, yeah, I got a cleaning company and don't own that near brush solution to clean shit. That's what that is. Or the person who stole somebody's lawnmower talking about they got lawn care service. Nigga, you stole that off probably my porch. And now you want to.
You've met or had a lot of unfortunate experiences, haven't you?
Cuz, man, I just live in a bad neighborhood. I had a crackhead take our thing off the porch and then gonna act like you got a lawn care business. You going around cutting people's grass with our damn lawnmower. Are you serious?
No, is she serious?
Yeah. Or it sounds like it might be that nigga. Like
Shut
with
up.
the hilarious thing, because this is crazy. So let's talk about something. Like this dude had said, hey, brother, can I cut your grass for 25? I said, hey, man, 25 sounds like a deal because it doesn't look like we have a lot of grass until you start to cut it. So he said, hey, man, I got to go get some gas for the lawnmower. And the brother never came back, only for me to see him later in the day walking around the corner. Yeah, I was going to get right back on that. You're not even walking towards my house. And I paid you in advance. See how
people do?
See how we do each other.
So
So is he one of those odd job guys?
There's no telling, but we definitely want you guys to weigh in. I'm going to read it one more time before we take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and wrap it up. So
All right.
go ahead and marinate on this because we want you guys to weigh in. I am currently in a relationship with a younger guy of 7
Correct.
years. He's 7 years younger than her.
Gross.
We have, did you say gross?
Yeah.
We have been seeing each other for 2 years. I love him, but he doesn't trust me because I've made mistakes. He is very faithful, but has no job. He does odd jobs to bring in money,
Hey,
but he cannot foot the whole bill.
I forgot that.
What?
So she's been a cheater before.
Yeah.
So then what are we?
I mean, but she also said that, okay, I work and I have a child. Recently, we broke up because of finances. I met another man that is my age and stable. I started talking back to the younger guy and left my stable guy alone. I do love my young guy, but I feel like I missed out by passing up on the stable guy help. So we want you guys to weigh in. Feel free to get in on the chat.
She's not stable.
Feel free to get in on the chat. We are going to take a very quick break and then we will be back. And then you guys can weigh in and let us know what are you thinking? It's
Nothing. Because she's crazy.
no argument there. It is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture.
I forgot you cheating.
go so fast.
Yes. Hey,
We are back.
we are
Messy.
messy.
We're honestly, I think it's you of course do that. You decided to choose or find fulfillment elsewhere, and maybe this guy has good sex or good personality. Maybe I don't know. I've heard that before, where I can't leave him alone because the sex is good or because he's good, or you know, two people in the household and homeboy's not, shady because he's not living that employment. And then you find a guy that is your age, stable, and you got it together. For whatever reason, you decide to break it off with him. It's the young time. Whether it was because of sex or whatever, toxic, all the time, not whatever it had to be. And then now you feel stupid because
And you're a cheater. Like, so the party, she was cheating and she had been forgiven. That's crazy. Like, yeah. Like, so for example, we got Joe that said her child deserves stability as well as she does. She's younger and probably going all night. She's clearly not doing this. Going young and doesn't work out and that's and stuff. Agreed. Agreed. Happy New Year, guys. Agreed. Because at the end of the day, no job bothers me. As you see, I keep going back to that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I keep going back to that is because, you got to be able to do stuff. You know what I mean? And so if you're not working, the question is, what are you doing? And then now, if you are taking care of a person who's not working, what do they provide? You know what I'm saying? So now here's the tell. Now here's the thing. Let's flip it. We were saying this in reverse with the woman, everybody. Now, how do we know she ain't taking care of the house? Maybe who knows? But you left whatever that was. And then that cross cancels that off the table. Because clearly there was something else you were looking for. But because you were looking for something else, you found stability. You used the word stability. And so it makes everybody feel like you're crazy. They said it makes everybody feel like you're crazy because you said stability. So if you said stability, why would you leave something that's stable for clearly an young man who's unstable? Because even if the young man had a job and he wasn't putting up, it was consistent, you can build on that. He doesn't even seem to have something to build on. So, as a person with a child, why are you choosing something that's not stable? Because I would say, okay, well, I love you. Okay, tell me why you love me in the first place. And if it was because of finances, what hamster wheel are we doing? Because it's going to come back up because he does not have a job. So if he does not have a job, what's going to happen? And so then who's the foolish person in this situation? I mean, they're all foolish because my man, get a job and get out.
I have one question.
Put the letters.
Because you can ask, and they leave out a lot of information where it's like, okay, so nothing happened to her, but don't ask for help if you're omitting
Why can't you give a job, bro? You can go to Cookout right now, 14. Chick-fil-A 19 in certain areas. Can't hear me? Can't hear me at all? I cut it off. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, if you don't have a job, if there is no job out there for you, then what are you doing all day? And That's a man talking, right? So then now we're going to say, okay, as a man, what do you do all day if you don't have a job or you have income coming in? Now, the flip side of that is we are in a state of the world where maybe he's a house dad person, maybe. And because that can happen. That can be a person's reality that you are a person at home and you are a what is the word we want to look for a man, a male homemaker. Okay, fine. And if that's cool, then cool. But here's where we fall into a problem. You left him for stability. Now, if you were saying I'm riding it out with my broke man and I love him to pieces, cool. But the confusion was created by you because you chose to use the word stability, and then you chose to say, I left him for the stable man.
Because you said finances were the issue.
Because finances, we broke up because finances were the issue. So now if finances were the issue, then what are we talking about? Like, I have no idea. And we have from Ms. Purvis, if trust is gone, it's over. If you left over finances, why go back if nothing changed? He still doesn't have a stable job. The older you get, stability matters. When children are involved, stability matters. Amen. So for adults, this conversation is crazy. For adults, this conversation is crazy. And for anybody who understands what it means to have children, and then also, if you choose to love somebody who's broke, then you should have said, I love my broke guy and wrote it out. You got a taste of that stable life, and then it drove you crazy. But then stability and, stability and sex wasn't going hand in hand. And there's the only reason why you're with a dude 7 years your baby.
And that was going to be something that I pointed out, because I'm like, for you to be with a guy 7 years younger than you, maybe the stable guy maybe there was something where the stable guy was like, I'm not putting up with that.
That's another thing, because the stable guy could have been like, because what? Because when you start telling the story, he's going to be like, well, what? Wait, so you just had a young guy laying around? And
there might be certain behaviors because you said made mistakes.
Was there a PS5 involved? Because if there was a PS5 involved, she bought it, he didn't work, he played 2K and all that, kind of like the kids that we teach. Some of them gonna be that guy. I promise you that. Because this is great. Because it seems like this is acceptable. Like, it's out here, and we're gonna get into this in the dating tales. Out here, it seems like there's just no middle ground. It's extreme left or extreme right. So it's either pay all the bills because I don't want to do it, or this craziness that we're reading. There's no middle ground of just people relating in relationships where give, take, ebb, flow, what you lack, I may provide, and what I provide, there's an area where you may lack, None of that. It's either pay all my bills and let me look crazy, or I pay all your bills so you can look crazy. Because, oh shit, here we go. Because, just quickly stated, I am a feminist in every sense of the word. I believe that women have fought for the right to sit at the table. But then you have women who will go against this. There are people who have fought. There is legislation that has been passed for women to be able to earn the same amount as men. And then you have, and it's still not happening. I mean, we just had Taraji crying, looking crazy after not supporting Monique. Look, there's problems. And then you have a crowd of people saying, I need 50-50. People are struggling to make 50-50. Then, okay, so then now I need you to pay all of it. People are struggling by themselves. What do you mean pay all of it? You are talking about a finite group of people who are able to do something like that in the market that we are today. $50 gets you Kool-Aid at the grocery store.
Jesus Christ, let's not talk about
So what are we talking about? Like,
and that goes back to her point of if you're going to argue about finances, where, like you said, it might have been strenuous for you because you have a child, you have a man who's at home all day running up the light bills, water bill, whatever it is you're accountable for, then you're coming home and you're seeing a $300 light bill and you're like, what money do you have? And this guy's like, I got $150 on $150. I have all these other bills to pay. So obviously it was an issue.
I mean, that $150 might help with water. I mean, it's $150. Are you gonna pass up $150?
I got all these other. I got rent or mortgage, gas, car payment.
Sounds like a lot.
Electricity, depending on where you live.
All right.
Gas. Like 150. We established, that's nothing. So if that was your issue of finances, why are you passing up on the stable guy?
But let's talk about that $150. We gonna figure out.
My nigga's triggered.
We're gonna figure out something on my Denzel point. We're gonna figure out something with that $150. We are not clowning that man because he only had $150.
When I'm sitting here looking at bills that are over $2,000 and you talk about $150, nigga, I will choke you out. What?
I got what I got.
And you talking about I do odd jobs? I'm fighting you because get out my house.
But she loved it in the beginning.
I was say, but she loves him for you to go back. Like I need, sis.
We need more.
I need for you to come and tell us what's going on here because I'm thinking it's you. It is you. I'm not even gonna say I'm thinking it is you. It's you, sis. It's you. It's you.
Women fought hard to be able to pay all the bills. So now she's paying all the bills. She got mad. What?
Because you know that feeling when you've been working all damn day and you come home and somebody done ate up your food that you've been thinking about.
And you hear that microwave, meep, 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 meep. You'd be like, I know the hell you ain't warming up my food.
And I've been at work all day.
And I've been at work all day.
People getting on my nerves. Kids is going crazy.
And you still got the same drawers and Crocs on that you had when I left this morning. I can't tell the story. And Ms. Purvis says, in this economy, love isn't enough.
No, that's right.
Damn.
I love you, baby, but
in this economy, love has paid not near bill.
Love don't keep the lights on. When Duke Energy say, I want my money, well, look.
What are we saying here, guys? I mean, what are we all collectively?
And then you add a child on top of that. They talking about, mommy, I'm hungry. You
don't get me started with kids. Lord, don't get me started with the crumb snatchers.
And I done worked, and this kid is talking about what they need, and you're sitting on the couch with an odd job, probably door dashing or some crap. Like, dude, come on. Help me. But girl, I'm mad at you.
Door dashers, Tony, who dropped my piece off, appreciate you, bruh.
But most of those people are doing it to supplement their income. It's not their full-time job.
But you get full-time DoorDash and what's the other one? Instacart. So you wouldn't date a brother who Instacarts?
How much you making?
And we got to find out how much the route gives. He gets paid that day.
How much you making?
So we got to find out how much the bill is for that day.
So what else are we doing?
I mean, once again, hey.
What we say? Love
ain't
enough.
Love ain't enough.
When you see my bills and you talking about, oh, well, I just dropped some red lobster.
Red lobster.
To Alberta Street. What? How much did you make?
Red lobster, you better not be, if you ain't got no job, you better not be eating no red lobster. Unless it's the all you can eat day. I wish the hell would you. And nigga, see, I'm trying not to be.
What?
Because those be the ones in Red Lobster holding up seats. You be like, now, you know what? I earned this Red Lobster.
That's a whole different tangent, but I don't understand that because I'm like, how are people affording to go on vacation month after month? Life is kicking my ass.
Well, because some of these people don't pay bills and have furniture in their house. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man, that look, you got to sacrifice something.
Yeah, you do.
You got to sacrifice something. And some people just don't mind. Like, you were very diligent. just like my keto buns, about bills.
Absolutely.
There are people who will be like, fuck this bill. I'm going on vacation. Deal with it when I get back.
Now I'm coming back and my lights ain't on. Now my groceries defrosted.
Light a candle, get the grill out and cook whatever's able to be cooked. And we had a good time. You know how many people out here are fraudulent on this? You mean, these people are fraudulent out here on social media, man. These people will show it, but then they really don't have it in their pockets.
And now that you can Afterpay and Affirm and Klarna, a lot of your stuff is, yeah. But it's like, once again, then you're digging yourself in a further hole because them people want their money. And if you don't have that money to give back to them, what are we doing?
We just gonna go start a new bank account somewhere else.
What?
Since that one's crashed.
That's what you do?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Whoa, I don't do that. Whoa, what do you mean?
That's insane.
I mean, once again, we're back for the first day. I can't give out. Whoa, I hope you kind of threw me under the bus. I don't do that.
You were quick with the response. I'm like, wait a minute.
Because that's what people do. Got too many things coming out the account?
Start over.
Start another account. Take a break before I get in trouble. I am not trifling.
It's TDS Radio.
Oh. Did you do that? I have. In my younger days. Too much shit coming out. Like, not even close the account. Just start another one. Nah, fuck that. Yes, I have.
What? I would have never thought to do that. Never.
Why not?
Never. Because I don't know what I was thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, they're going to tell you like, you have money left in this account. You can't start over.
Like, banks don't care. Go right to the next bank. Open me up. You got any money? I got my paycheck. And put your paycheck there. Put your direct deposit over there. That other one.
If people do that, that is insane. Yo.
Nothing that I ain't did now.
People out here going to Turks and Caicos with an invalid bank account.
I've done some things.
That is hilarious.
So what we have to do for the purpose, that's the lady who has family cancer.
Oh, man.
That's the family. So what they want us to do, I forgot to tell you about it, is talk about a procedure that she can get, but it costs an extra $5,000 not covered. So she wanted to know if we could, talk to people to see if anybody would be willing to. So I gotta get that information.
Yeah. What type of cancer does she have?
Now it's spread over. I don't know where it started. I never asked.
Jeez.
But we gotta get that information.
Are the surgeons willing to do it?
Yeah, it's $5,000 though, and the insurance ain't covering it.
Because they probably are thinking like, what's the point?
Because she don't get that much.
That is terrible.
You said out that mouth. You stole Friday after next. The one I was there. I wish all was miracle when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Cat Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike, and Cat Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weighed 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian bad face. He was gonna play the film. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man? Well, you shouldn't be able. You wouldn't let an athlete that's been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act. Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, this should have been my role. Everybody ought to say, why do you think no cast member has ever said anything? He could have played that role like you. I thought he deserved. No one, and why no? He was with KD. He beat up Terry Crews. Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched on roles. You take this and what? Ricky Smiley knows this. We auditioned in Los Angeles. Yes. I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and
You put music on for that? Yeah. I just didn't want to shut it down. I didn't realize it was that loud.
What?
The stream. I didn't realize the radio station was that loud. I just didn't want them to shut it down.
No.
Man, you said out that mouth. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Cat Williams' joke? He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019. And did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, one doesn't line up. This is a televised, and I need to do this. Cedric told you when you asked him,
This nigga was over there.
you steal Cat Williams' joke? It don't line up. How it don't line up? He thought that I was just an joke. That Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything.
Yeah, Mark Curry and Steve Harvey
Steve
knocked
had a
it
sitcom
off.
where
Really?
he-
No.
and he
Mark
went-
Curry, he said that on interview. You said me and Steve, I almost punched him in his face.
Jeez. Did you ever see that clip when he was on the David Fox show and he playing that drill sergeant and he was on his face?
Yeah.
They started laughing.
You a sissy, ain't you, boy? I am not.
would've
You
died.
a sissy, boy? I am not.
That nigga was smooth when he turned that corner. Yo, if he didn't catch himself, he was done. And it's crazy because a lot of comedians don't really mess with Steve like that.
A lot. Because remember I don't know if you remember the comic that we had. Said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right. How much? Well, ooh.
No, I might end up cutting it short. 'Cause there's
How much? Yeah. What? How much you at that boy? Oh, what? How much you what did this one? I'm starting to get tired. I'm like, damn, it's 7.
I know, right?
And
she said 8 o'clock. I was like, oh no, we could get out of here earlier.
what does it look like for tomorrow in here? Because if ain't nobody here, well, this stuff is staying put.
Oh yeah. Well, I will have to check on that computer.
Because they don't use nothing for this table anyway besides to put junk on it.
Right. You ready to go in?
Yes.
Okay.
It's TDS Radio. Your girl
Yo.
So Fab, Coach Block here.
We're back. The Sibs are back. That letter was crazy. I seen some of y'all comments on Facebook because I posted the letter on Facebook. But do me a favor, y'all, go ahead and listen to the show live. But yeah, we was talking about that, and I can't post y'all comments because you didn't put it in the live. So I can say that
Oh yeah, what's some of the comments?
Mr. Washington, Coach Washington from Charlotte said, clearly one had a donkey D and the other one had money.
Whoa.
Donkey D wins all the time. Thank you, Coach Washington.
Right?
For those that don't know,
Right.
Donkey D wins all the time. Okay. Does it? I don't want to know. You're my sister. Gross. Ew.
It does not. I can tell you that right
I don't. La 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 la. And somebody said, "Oh, y'all really gonna talk about this stupidity?" With laughing emojis. Obviously, she's just not ready for stability. And then the other person said, "Man, this is stupid." Like, and then somebody put the clown emoji. So clearly, y'all ain't feeling her. Jesus. All right. Well, that's not nice. Okay. Donkey D wins all the time.
That's what we learned from
y'all.
that.
So today we've learned that Donkey D wins all the. What are y'all about to go in? Sometimes that Donkey D is for sure on a jackass. Leave it alone.
Yes! Who said that?
Well, that is Miss Purvis.
I am here for her.
Thank you, Miss Purvis. Clearly, the Donkey D is on a jackass.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm not gonna let y'all do this today. We are staying professional for at least one day out of this year.
Never.
So, all right, we got another segment. All right,
I actually have a graphic for that.
there's a graphic for it.
Yeah.
Is it in
I'm
here?
gonna change it, but yeah.
Where's the graphic? Oh, so we got a graphic. This is the graphic. Hold on. So Fab Kim's unfortunate dating tales. So we're about to hear what the singles are going through.
Oof.
So if you're a single person and you happen to watch this show or listen to it, please
Yes.
share
Yes.
the foolishness.
Yes.
I'll let you introduce your segment.
Yes. So this is So Fab Kim's Unfortunate Dating Tales, where it's not necessarily always my story, it's stories that are shared with me. And of course, if you would like to share a story as well, you can always hit us up on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, or send us an email at tdsrmedia@gmail.com, or even hit us up individually and give us your insights when it comes to dating. Because I've been hearing a lot of stories on both sides where dating has just been awful. And I don't know if it's because of COVID and us just taking that, couple months, almost to a year where we didn't really have any human interaction, or if this is like the side effects of the vaccine. Like, I don't know what's going
I
on.
definitely want some fellas to come in because let's hear what y'all got to say. What are you experiencing on the other side? But none of that Kevin Samuel stuff. But
One of my dear friends, I love him to death. He said that, one woman was essentially alluding to the fact that she wanted him to take her on a cruise. And he was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I barely know you. She was like, so what you saying? You broke?
yeah. But clearly the broke guys win because the last letter.
Clearly.
So what are you saying? You broke?
Yeah. I didn't mean to laugh in his face, but I did.
But I mean, why am I supposed to take? Yes, I would have just said, yeah, I don't have that type of money right now.
Yeah.
Is that what it is going out there? Love you, Keita Boo.
You bet. I keep telling, for those of you who are in relationships, like really good, stable relationships in marriage, be lucky. I want you to kiss your partner tonight because you can be out here in these
smooches
streets.
and smooches and smooches. Because if somebody asks me, do I got money for a cruise, I'm gonna be in trouble because No,
You do. You can go on Carnival.
I'm not. First of all, I'm not going on a cruise. Secondly, no. Why am I paying? Why is that the? See what I mean about two extremes?
Mhm.
So one extreme, you don't have to work, and I love you. The other extreme, so you can't take me on a cruise. What's your last name? Tell the tale. Let's go into it. This is crazy.
So, I am trying to put my foot back into the dating world because, no one wants to be alone. You would like to have some companionship, but it's crazy out here. So one of the most recent stories that I have is with a young guy. He and I were going back and forth on the dating app. Seemed like a pretty cool guy, decent job, nice looking.
What was the job?
I think it was engineer.
Oh, smart man.
So I'm like, okay, decent conversation. So we decided to take it out of the app and, swap numbers and.
He made it that far.
Because a lot of them don't. I can tell you right. As long as I've been on the dating app, I've only given my number to 3 guys.
Okay. So he made it out.
So he made it out. Yes.
All right.
Yes. And, just in conversation, I'm asking, different things. And as he's talking, he reveals to me that he has a daughter. Now, that was not disclosed on the app.
Okay.
Which I was kind of shocked about because I feel like sometimes you have to give people that choice of if they want to, continue
deal with your
on
kids.
Dating. Yes, deal with your kids.
Take it from somebody who has a lot of kids.
So that kind of took me aback. That was number one.
All right.
So then, I asked him. I said, "Well, are you interested in having any more?" Well, no. Let's take it back. I asked him. I said, "Is it a problem for you to date someone who doesn't have children?" And he said, "No, I don't have a problem there." I'm like, "Okay."
Is it a problem to date someone who doesn't have children? Right. So you're asking him, is it an issue for him to date a person who does not have children?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
And he was like, "No, I don't see that being a problem." Okay, because I've had that happen as well.
Okay.
So then I asked him. I said, "Well, would you like to have more children?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, I thought about it. I would like to." And he asked me the same question in return. I said, "Honestly, I'm not sure." And he's like, "Well, what does that mean?" And I say, "Well, it would be based on a couple factors. One of them would be meeting the right person. And then, getting married first, because I've waited this long. I do not want to have a child outside of wedlock. And, making sure that my partner and I have some very, very candid conversations surrounding around, children."
Yeah, because you definitely had some bad examples in front of you. I'm sorry. I am sorry as your sibling to give you such examples of what it looks like. Not this time. Love you, smooches, but the other two. Not this time. This time, got it right. Hopefully. But the other two.
Stop it. Be nice.
I love my children.
Yes.
But what do I tell you? It's never the kids. It's who you have them with.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
So, so then I told him, I was like, I have to have some very candid conversation before taking that next step. And you would have thought that I called this man a black bastard who came from the fattest bitch on earth, who, is no good. Her feet stink, her coochie swollen, whatever. You would have thought I said something crazy.
What do y'all be taught? Swollen coochies, donkey D. What else going?
Anyway.
Okay.
So then he goes in to say, like, "Well, what do you mean the right person?" And I'm like, "Well, nigga, what do you mean? What do I mean? You know, like, I want to pay attention to someone's habits, how they are, what are they like when they get angry, like really being mindful of who it is that I'm deciding
You want to go through multiple seasons with a person.
Yes, absolutely. Because I don't know how you're going to act when you get angry. And I'm like, "Oh no, I had a kid with you. And this is the person I got to deal with." Because a lot of people show their representatives. So let me meet who you are once we get past the honeymoon stage, So
they change even after you have children.
That too. So then,
Lord, I know. Don't change places for the likes of where I've been.
So to that point, seeing people in their seasons, whatever have you. And then, like I told him, I'm like, just making sure that I can actually see this person being a parent,
Correct.
Because a lot of people, they can have children, but they're not meant to be parents. I've witnessed a lot of stuff in my 35 years.
Yes.
So then he, goes in and like, "Oh, well, and I think a lot of this was projection, because he's like, "Well, it sometimes it can't always be the right person." I'm like, "Well, it can, because you kind of control that. Like, Okay. So then we go in even further and he's like, well, what type of conversation are you expecting to have? And I said, well, number one, it's going to be about finances. What have we been talking about for the last 30 to 45 minutes? Finances.
I think there needs to be some understanding.
Can we afford to have a child?
No, these damn kids.
Realistically, because I mean, I know no one can prepare, and that's the one thing I want everyone to know, the caveat to all of this. I am well aware, and I'm not naive to the fact that you can never 100% prepare to have a child, but you can be extremely mindful of what your next steps are going to be when having this child.
Okay.
You know, so that's why I'm like, let's talk about finances, because are you good with money? Am I good with money? Because you might look at me and be like, girl, you're not as good as you thought you were.
Yeah.
And we're adding in another person, you know. So then he's like, well, do you know how much it is to have a child? I do not, which is why I don't have any, because I like money and I like spending my money on me. So, then,
that stops when you have kids.
Exactly. And that's what I told him. I said, then we also have to have the conversation of, are we comfortable with sacrifice? Because we're going to have to sacrifice a lot. I work. I also have a business. And then depending on who my partner is, they may be in a position where they work a lot, whatever have you. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice in order to take care of this child. And I don't want there to be any sort of resentment.
Correct.
You know, so that's a whole nother thing. And then, you know, I went in and told him, I was like, what about the conversation of what if we can't conceive? What if I can't have a child? Are you okay with that? Because if you really want this child and I'm not able to conceive, is that a deal breaker for you? So now we have to completely throw our entire relationship away because you wanted something that I can't give to you.
You asked him all this at once?
No, not all at once. You know, this was broken up because he kept asking like, what type of questions? But there were things that I was saying, and I was just being, you know, I went with the overall very generic statement of like, well, what about, you know, conversations surrounded around miscarriages and stuff like that, finances. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I don't know how else to explain this to you.
This is the first phone conversation?
Yes.
This is too heavy. I just want to have fun. We should be trying to somehow talk about going somewhere to have some fun.
Listen.
These are conversations I have with a woman that I've been in a relationship for over 10 years. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that would stress me out.
And I asked him, I was like, what is going on here? I was like, did I make you mad? Like, did I trigger something? Like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just asking questions. Well, it's definitely given anger. And I'm not quite sure what happened here because we definitely went left when the conversation just started with like, okay, do you want to have kids? And I thought we were going to move past that and talk about, like you said, fun stuff. What's your favorite movie? What do you like to do? Hey, would you like to go out somewhere? Maybe like, I don't know, do something.
He was triggered.
And I'm like,
he didn't have a good experience with his child's mother.
Clearly, but don't take that shit out on me, sir.
No, I'm just saying, you know, as a person to whom has been triggered frequently because of past experiences, he was triggered.
I see, because then he was like, well, you want these unicorn situations. Whoa there, Thunder. I don't need you to be out here trying to insult me and my mindset because obviously you weren't careful with your dick. So don't be mad at me.
Here we go, bringing up people's genitalia again.
No, because you weren't. You were irresponsible and now you're paying for that. But I can be understanding, but don't sit here and try to make me seem like I'm less than or what I'm talking about isn't realistic because you didn't prepare properly.
The conversations that you guys are having in this one conversation is something that should be done over a span of time.
Absolutely.
As you get to know some, because some of those questions can be answered without being asked.
Absolutely.
Through just normal conversation or getting to know a person. So he set himself up for that. And I don't understand what he was expecting in return. That's what lets me know he was triggered. Because he's like, so what you mean? Because I'm a dad, an angry dad. Like, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then you have a daughter. Like, wouldn't you want your daughter to be careful with her coochie?
Please. I done told my daughter so many times, like, could you please not?
Be careful with your coochie, ladies.
Just don't. It's such an overrated experience. Don't get me started. Love you, smooches and smooches and smooches. In case you're watching, I love my daughter. I just don't. Please, these people out here.
It is overrated, and if you ever need assistance, and so where you're not wanting to, jump in and go and text that toxic ex or whatever, watch our Sex Unbanned show where we actually suggest different toys and stuff that will give you pleasure. So then, most of the time, you're not making these emotional, irrational decisions to just jump into bed with someone because that's how mistakes happen.
Agreed. and just chill. Bottom line, this stuff, people need to start vetting who they deal with and take their time. There's plenty of people out here, but I do believe social media has a grasp of what reality is in other people's mind. And then also, people have not taken the time to heal before dealing with the next person.
Listen.
And in that situation, it is terribly sad that a brother would take that angle towards somebody who wants to cautiously, once again, here we go, two extremes. Now, there are people who won't ask any questions.
Right.
And then you sleep with them, you get pregnant, and then now you find out all these things that you didn't want to deal with. Now you have to deal with them. And then now you have a person who's saying, well, let's have these conversations. And then you get mad. Well, sir, it didn't work out the first time and you didn't ask the right questions. So you should be extremely excited that somebody took the time to ask the questions now. My issue is, once again, where's this happy medium with people? So, sir, if I can be transparent, and it's not because it's my sister, I don't know if you listen to our show, if you know we got one, what would you want? I know I would be thankful if a person had a checklist of things that they would like to ask versus let's have kids. You know how many people just willingly just be like, oh, all right. Like act like they surprised after you just had sex without a condom on and be like, what happened here? And it's like, well, what did you think was supposed to happen? And then now none of this conversation is had. And it's like, oh, everything is wrong with you.
It's like what?
Oh, damn it. Everything is wrong with you.
Right. I don't want to be tied to I would rather get married and get divorced before I have a child with someone and know that I have to be stuck with you for life, because it's not just the 18. It's not. I still have to deal with you. So no.
Clearly, I was a terrible example. She's like, and I just can't do it. I just can't. You see this nigga next to me? No.
I hear so many stories and I see what people are experiencing on both sides, men and women with their partners and with a partner that they had their child with. And I'm like, I don't want that to be me.
It needs to be vetted. And, like I said, I truly love my children. And, my ex-wife and the mother of my daughter, Deanna, we were young. We were 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, my oldest now is 20, about to be 21 in March. I couldn't even imagine her telling me, Dad, I'm about to have a kid. Like, what?
Don't do it.
And I look at I go back and think of 22-year-old me having the first one. That dude was clueless. And it's sad because I was actually, talking to my fiance now. And the way I worded it to her was, I wish my first experience was with her.
Oh.
Not saying I dismiss the other experiences because they help me where I'm at now. But when you find the person and you're like, yeah, this is your person, you're like, damn. Because now you have to go through all these levels of shedding all that negative stuff to be able to be okay for this person so that you're not bringing all that baggage into a relationship. And sometimes people don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. Handle your baggage before a relationship. So don't taint the first experience because you did not ask those questions. So that's what I'm saying. My man's first experience clearly is tainted. You should be happy to.
And you're taking it on. And then you got the nerve to talk about Merry Christmas. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good over here.
Merry Christmas. We got Joe. I can't do it. My ex is the epitome of what I thought Satan might be.
Yes, y'all.
Word.
That is not
But
nice.
people, they definitely make you grow. Absolutely. Like at the end of the day, man, like this is about growth. But I do feel like that conversation was way too heavy.
Yes.
That is an unfortunate dating tale.
Yes. I definitely wasn't prepared to go this deep into it. I'm just like, before we talk any further, are you okay with someone who doesn't have kids? Because I've literally had guys that say, you've never had a child, so you can't really relate. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Funny story. So I said that to Chiquita when we first started dating and explaining, the side of having a kid. And she jumped my face. you don't know because I was a stepmother and I loved my stepson
You
like
better
he
tell her
was my
business.
own. And I looked and I said, well, as a stepfather, I understand where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong. I am not negating the importance of a stepfather. We had a stepfather. I get it. I love my stepfather. I said, but there is a difference when it's your own. I said, now you don't treat anyone different, but it is a difference when that is your child. Like, there's a difference. And because, like I told her, my stepson, and you remember, people used to think he was my son because no different treatment than the girls, none of that, but it's different. So then now we finally, she has her own. And I revisited that conversation.
Betty.
And yeah, you got a point. I know I had a point, but you called me bitter.
Grumbly Grue.
Grr. You're just, you know what you are? You're just bitter. Bitter. And it echoed. We was outside.
Yeah.
We was outside. You know how crazy that is? I said, well, let me just go to work. And I just turned around and went to work. Fast forward now, I'm not, once again, not discrediting Step because our stepfather was there and me as a stepfather, I was there, you know what I'm saying? So not discrediting that, but it's a tad bit different when it's your blood.
Right.
And so when you got a person who's asking you these type of questions, you would want to kind of be like, well, you know what? That's that. Well, thank you. I'm not answering all that right now because it's too heavy because we don't even know each other, but I appreciate it. But his experience was bad, so he's grumbly Grue.
Well, baby, go hell, because that I am not signing up to be anyone's therapist. You need to go and get the help that you need. Because that was insane. But like I said, I just want to be sure because I don't want, my thing is I don't want to waste anyone's time because I don't want my time wasted. So if you don't want to deal with a woman that doesn't have kids, let me know off top. But I wish that he would have said in his profile that he had a child.
So I am going to say that that's an unfortunate dating event.
Yeah. Boom.
Like on Dave Chappelle's thing, burp, burp. That was definitely an unfortunate dating tale.
Yes.
And so if you out there in the world have an unfortunate dating tale, DM us at all of our social media handles are TDS Radio. We would love to share. And if you happen to want to just come on and talk on the stream, we would love to have you. If you want to talk, not leave a comment, but actually get in, shoot us a DM. We will be doing these as many as can come up.
Weekly.
Yeah,
y'all gotta give me time.
She got a backlog, but as much as we can do them. But if you guys want to share them, please let us know, and we will share your unfortunate dating tales, the single life. Ouch. When we get back, Cat Williams is snapping out, so we're gonna do Stop the Cap when we get back because. Stop the cap because my man just went nuts on Club Shay Shay. This is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. Somebody laughed.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I don't know who did. Nobody give us no money though. Where's the money? Right, I'm just kidding.
have to scoop.
It's TDS Radio. Your girl, your girl's so fab.
My bad.
Coach Block.
Yo.
We are back.
Yo.
And we are going into our Stop the Cap. I do not have a graphic for that one just yet. My apologies.
It's okay.
That was a last minute add-in.
Yeah, it's all right. Stop the cap.
Mhm.
So what stop the cap means is, just in case. What stop the cap means is, these kids always say that's like when we used to be like, man, you lying. So stop the cap. So I don't know if anybody has seen recently, because it's really lighting up the internet right now as we speak, at Club Shay Shay, one of your favorite people, old Shay Shaw.
I love me some Shay Shaw.
He said, "Go put your name in the hat."
He be talking about crazy stuff like shit.
Well, he's a former NFL athlete. They do crazy shit because they have lots of money. All right. So anyway, here's what I would like to say. Cat Williams, I'll give a little bit of backstory, is going in reference to one, not being one of the kings of comedy, but being asked. There was a lot of things that Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer had sat down and said on Club Shay Shay that he's like, man, why you let these men come up here and lie like that? So it could be conceived or perceived that Cat Williams is looking like a hater until Cat starts to drop some very, very specific things, such as Cedric Entertainer's joke at the end of the Kings of Comedy when he talks about backing up the old deuce and a quarter, but it was treating it like it was a spaceship. Well, that joke, Cat Williams had done a very similar joke on Comic View, back when people used to watch Comic View. And he said actually sat in on the set and watched it. And he said not only did Said sit in on the set and watched it, it was also one of the commercial bits that was used for Comic View, for the commercial. Only for 2 years later for him to see that was used as part of Kings of Comedy as a closing, and he stole his stuff. Cat then goes in to talk about how Mark Curry and Steve Harvey have issues. And Steve Harvey, a lot of people don't know that Steve Harvey and Mark Curry actually, in fact, do have some issues that according to Mark, has been handled. Mark has had the opportunity to talk to Steve Harvey and tell him some things that, in reference to some jokes that may have been stolen.
Mm.
And even
Also, he was stealing jokes too.
yes, Steve. Excuse me. And even the idea of the show Steve Harvey has, which was very similar to Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
That it is.
Which that was a part. I'm sorry. I probably should have got a drink of water. So with that being said, Cat also goes in to say that Ricky Smiley is not funny. He said that he had a large Christian-based audience, which he did,
Mhm.
and that he had done more movies in dress than he has as a normal character, and got mad because Shannon Sharp literally told him, quote, "You carried that movie on next Friday and Friday after next." And Kevin got up there and said, Cat Williams got up there and said, "Why would you lie to that man, knowing that Money Mike is what carried that?"
Wait, who was Ricky Smiley?
Exactly. He was the Santa that was robbing people.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You didn't know
I
that?
thought it was just some random guy.
Nah, that was Ricky Smiley.
Yo, I gotta go back and watch.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that was Ricky Smiley. Yes. You didn't know that for real?
I
Okay.
swear I didn't know that.
No, of course, Money Mike. That was our first introduction to Money Mike as a character.
And Terry Crews.
Yes, and Terry Crews. Yes. So so Ricky Smiley, right? So, but here's the thing: I don't have a problem with Ricky Smiley. But
Mhm.
here's the question that I have: is it cap? Meaning, is Cat Williams at this current time giving us the tea, or is he just hating? Because he also said, one of Steve Harvey's things is big on, he says it all the time, is that he was homeless.
Mhm.
And Cat Williams goes in and says, "No, you weren't homeless. You were on tour getting $3,000 a show during the time that you were claiming that you were homeless." He was also saying that he had stole Bernie Mac's style, saying that Bernie Mac and D.L. Hewley was kind of the first guys to wear like a suit,
Right.
and that the box that Bernie wore was very similar to the one Steve wore. And he said that it was a hairpiece, meaning that he had a hair set first. He said Steve Harvey, literally in the interview, he said that Steve Harvey had a hairpiece, like it was a man set. And that's what helped make that hairline so sharp, and that was not really his hair. Which, the way he went bald makes you think, is this a stop the cap, or is he telling the truth?
Yikes.
So now we have a situation where now everybody's like clutching pearls. What in the hell is going on with Cat Williams? Now, why did Cat Williams snap out like this?
Yeah. I mean, is it one of those things where enough is enough?
I mean, it might be.
And I mean, has Cat never, I've never known Cat to not really call people out and essentially kind of say, "Look, this is what I'm telling you, and I ain't afraid of you. It is what it is."
So he's very
candid.
Here's what he said, which I think is kind of foul. He said, "I would dare not shit on Bernie Mac. They offered him to be one of the kings of comedy once Bernie Mac left."
Mm.
And he was like, "First of all, I'm not second. And secondly, I don't feel as though it would be right to Bernie Mac."
Mm.
But he said they offered him. Now, the reason why I say this may not be cap, you know why? He said, "I have absolutely nothing negative to say about D.L. Hewley."
Yeah, he did say that. He said no slander will be tolerated.
Yeah, he said no slander will be tolerated about D.L. Hewley.
Mm.
So, leads me to believe that there's something there
Mm.
with Cat. Because Cat has been known to lie. He's been caught in lies before.
Mm.
But this is very specific, and it's on a stage where Shay Sharp has given him the platform that it's out there now.
Right.
We can almost say this is going to be breaking the internet, because you talked about two kings of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So the question I have is, if you're Steve and if you're Cedric, do you allow the cap to happen, or do you stop the cap?
Well, Cedric did respond.
Oh no, Sad responded.
Yeah, he jumped on
So
social media.
Sad's from St. Louis. He ain't with that. So what did Said say?
So let me see if I can find it. Because he did jump on, and I guess he was just like, "Come on, my guy, like, what are we really talking about here?" But I don't know. I don't know. Because it's a lot of detail in these stories.
Right.
A lot of details in these stories. Damn it. I wish I could find it, but I definitely saw it on one of these channels where Cedric decided to respond. Oh, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He said, "Cat attack to all my peoples hitting me about the Cat Williams commentary. I say no, sir. That joke has roots tied into so many other of my jokes. To know me is to know most of my jokes are very similar animated characters acted out sense of humor. I've had jokes stolen. I've had similar premises to others as well, but the joke has DNA that's over 30 years old, specifically from me. Cigarette hanging from lip and all."
I don't know, but when you hear the joke from Comic View, there's a lot of similarities. But then, I mean, is this not a copycat sport? Quick question. I mean, some of these jokes, is this not, have we heard people tell similar jokes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is this a cap?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to say it's not. And the reason why I'm going to say it's not is because what does Cat Williams gain? When Cat Williams started dropping his stats, I got 12 specials.
Mm-hmm.
I got more specials than all of them besides, the Kings of Comedy
Mm-hmm.
tour. But I got more specials than Said. I got more specials than Ricky Smiley. Got more specials than Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
What does he gain from it?
And he's an Emmy Award winner, isn't he?
I think so.
Hasn't he won, I think, once or twice?
So it's like, what do you gain from shitting on these guys?
Yeah. Well, how did the conversation start? I guess
It was just a part of the interview. And
Okay.
he said that he had to clear the air because you let these guys get up here and lie.
Okay.
And so he went on in like, yeah. So let's see. Joe says, it's no different than hip hop. I've heard repeated bars. Comedy is no different. See, that's what I kind of feel like. Some of this is going to be a repeat game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hear certain things that you like, you might take a piece and kind of make it your own. But Dave Chappelle had talked about how somebody stole one of his jokes as a young person
Mm-hmm.
and then used it. And he was trying to get his joke back, and the dude told him, "Get out of my face."
Mm-hmm.
So it's a copycat game.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cat bitter? Does he need material now? Because it wasn't that he was drinking, because
No.
Shannon said,
He's sober now, right?
Shannon said, "Hey man, we about to cut you off the liquor." He said, "No, you've actually drank more than I have."
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that. So then what in the world has caused Cat Williams to snap and go crazy like this?
Maybe it was that whole Friday after next thing that just made him say, "You know what?"
Or do you think, would you be mad if you seen people coming on to a platform and spewing out lies one after another? Because he's had Ricky Smiley on there.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Cedric the Entertainer on
He's had
there.
Steve on there.
And he had Steve Harvey on there. And you know that these dudes are coming up there telling these lies.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt like he had to set the record straight. Are you a person that feels like you should have to set the record straight, or just let it fly, man? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Well, he's saying it does apply.
Yeah, and it depends on how much that like you said, it depends on how much it applies. Then also the other thing is just when you're seeing people lie, continue to lie, and you know the truth, that does burn you up. There's only so many times where you can be like, I'm gonna turn the other cheek.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So he may have just been like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna set the record straight because I'm tired of y'all ninjas lying.
Does Cat, in your opinion, hold enough weight to where this won't negatively, not that he cares, but to negatively impact him?
I don't think it will, because this is about to be really, really messed up what I'm going to say. I don't think enough people care that much about Cedric.
So to me, the least funniest kings of comedy is Cedric.
Yeah. He's definitely fallen into his bag of just being like the family guy, like the new TV dad. Like I think Cedric fits that. So for me, it's just like
Why? Because he's fat?
no, because
all right, just
I feel
checking.
like his material is so safe. Like for him
So
to
corny.
be, outlandish. And even when see him cussing, I'm just like, this doesn't fit you. Like I'd rather you just be a clean, comedian.
Comic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't think that him talking about him is going to hurt him any, even really Steve, because a lot of people have said negative things about Steve and how, he treats other people in the game and how he can be shady and he just essentially acts like he does nothing wrong. So I don't think that will hurt. I mean, maybe Ricky Smiley, because Ricky Smiley does have a huge fan base and people do like him still.
And Joe been with us all day. He said, I don't think it matters. And I might have to say for Cat Williams, I don't think each one of these guys have their own set of followings because there are people from like St. Louis that really think Cedric is funny. I'm not a big Cedric fan. I could do with or without. Would I ever buy to see him by himself? No.
Mm-mm.
Would I buy to see Steve? Possibly. Bernie Mac? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And DL Hughley, I have.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
His
so I
stand-up
have.
was hilarious.
Yeah, I have. I have seen DL Hughley live. Would I pay to see this Cat Williams? Probably not. The old Cat Williams, yeah. Now he's just one of those guys that get up there and makes things about like right, wrong, politics, all that stuff. I can't do that. But yeah, I don't know if it matters enough. It'll be internet clickbait for a while, but Steve has had a lot of other things going on, from cheating allegations of his wife and all that stuff.
And that whole thing with Shirley Strawberry.
What did he do with Shirley Strawberry?
He didn't do anything with her, but Shirley had a recorded phone call that she made to her husband, who was in jail for embezzlement. And she was essentially talking about Steve and Marjorie and their relationship and stuff like that. So it made it for a very awkward conversation on their morning show. But she did apologize.
Why is she talking about Steve? You don't know Shirley without Steve. See how people do. You know what? And see, that's the other part. I respect the fact that these guys, in their own individual right, employ a lot of people. Mm-hmm. From Ricky Smiley, because he helped the brat when she got out of jail. Mm-hmm. He gave her a job. Steve Harvey, I'm sure, has a ton of people. Even if you just talk about the guy who used to be his barber, he still pays his barber, even though his barber don't cut no hair. Okay. So it's like, And
he put Nephew Tommy on.
You put Nephew Tommy on, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that these guys have helped. And I think when it gets to a certain position, unless it's personal, which it seems to be with Cat Williams, personal, for us as the consumer, I don't care. If it's funny, I'm going to laugh. Mm-hmm. And if I like you, I'm going to laugh at what you say. You know what I'm saying? So like for people, there's some people who don't think Dave Chappelle's funny. I think he's absolutely hilarious. Oh, yes. But I respect people's lane of comedy. Like I love Bill Burr. Some people don't like Bill Burr. And, they think he's a little bit too rough. What it is. But when it comes down to stealing somebody's material, though, I think, in this situation, Kevin's going to have to back that up eventually, because there are going to be people, especially in the celebrity world, you're going to have to cross paths. Mm-hmm. But in Club Shay Shay, here's what he said. God is going to put us in the same hallway at some point in time where we have to confront each other about everything that I'm telling you. I'm like, Jesus, this guy, he is not backing down.
Well, all right.
So with that being said, man, is stop the cat. I need Cat Williams to stop the cat. Like, relax. Hopefully.
Or Cedric and Steve.
Or Cedric and Steve stop the cat. Well, like I said, Mark Curry and Steve have had where there was an interview. I can't remember. I think it was Byron Allen that asked him, what's the relationship with you and Steve? He said, ask Steve. Ooh. He said, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm like, all that Oakland from Mark Curry came out at that moment. And I'm like, he said, man, we had talked. He had stole some things from me, and we had to talk it out. Like, man, I'm like, sheesh.
And do you think maybe that's something that Cat should do, where it's like, let's not make this a big publicity stunt. Instead, I'm going to address these people one-on-one.
They may not answer his call. That's why he might have used this platform to go in on them, because they may not even answer his call.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because Steve is there was a comedian that did our show when Mom and I had the Valentine's Day thing. And the comedian that we hired said, quote, F Steve Harvey, because he act like everybody's supposed to kiss the ring. I'm not kissing his ring. And they both from Cleveland, because, you know, he's from Cleveland.
Right.
He was like, man, we grew up coming up through these same clubs, and I'm not kissing his ring, man. Because he was like, I know Steve, F Steve. I'm like, whoa. So not everybody, Steve is like Oprah to me. Because there's a lot of people that don't like Oprah too.
Right.
And, you know, but she has her niche and her group of people that worship her. I think Steve is the same way. And once he crossed over with Family Feud and all that, I can tell you right now, my fiance would tell you, as soon as I hear, hey, it's your man, Steve Harvey, I turn to the station. Once I seen that nigga on Bacon, I said, that's it. I'm done. I don't understand this.
That was you drew the line.
The line was drawn. But I found out why he was doing that.
Because he was broke.
Because he owed taxes.
Yeah, you broke. You
Yeah.
gotta be out here doing something.
But you out there with Bacons.
And nephew Tommy still to this day won't let him live.
Because why did we go that far? You can sell out stadiums and you out here selling bacon, Steve Harvey.
But did you buy it? Did anyone buy the Steve
No,
Harvey?
it was already pre-cooked. It's just like Shaq that got the bacon and Shaq got burgers and all. I'm not buying that stuff, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all just let them put you on anything. Now, what? Anyway, I'm sorry. We got 5 people watching. I'm still ranting over here. So the 5 people watching, now stop the cap. If you got something that you would like for us to discuss on Stop the Cap, or if you got something that you want to call somebody out on Stop the Cap.
Ooh, that's messy.
That
is messy.
We need likes and views. And that's how you get them. Because I know one thing, Club Shay Shay ain't stopped with the like shares after this dude. So if you got somebody that you want to hit on Stop the Cap, come on and holler at me and we'll play that. This is TDS Radio. Our voice, our call. Hey, I'm sorry. This is going to be 20 minutes of uninterrupted music. So if you're tuning in with us, please make sure you go to tdsradio.com and check out the music, because this is going to be our 20 minutes of uninterrupted music. When we come back at the top of the hour, we will have Ms. Brittany Turner for Small Business Conversations, who will be discussing her business called Sprout and Spice. And I don't think you guys want to miss that. So keep it locked, stay tuned. This is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture.
my views. God. thousand views. It just came out.
How are you? I'm well. Come on over here. We got 15. Two, one.
It's TDS Radio, your girl Soul Fab here, Coach Block, and we
Yo.
are officially in our small business conversation segment.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
now we got a guest in. Oh, girl, your skin is marvelous.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. I try to keep it moisturized. You know, gotta keep it,
Yes.
young looking.
So we've been teasing. I'm gonna let you go ahead and
Okay, cool. So to my right and to Kim's left, our first small business conversation will be with Miss Brittany Turner of Sprout and Spice.
Mhm.
And we are going to talk about how she came about the business, how you came about your name, what's driving you, all that good stuff. But first, just tell people who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Brittany Turner, and I am the owner of Sprouts and Spice Agriculture Academy. We aim to teach child nutrition in a fun and sustainable way. So that's pretty much about who we are.
So how did you come about Sprout and Spice? Like how did this sprout? Ba-doom. Yeah. There we go.
So Sprouts and Spice was originally an idea that was kind of birthed before the pandemic.
Mhm.
It was originally called Little Musical Chefs.
Oh.
And I went to preschools and daycares and the YMCA and Chick-fil-A, and I did all these music classes, and some were cooking classes, and some were birthday parties around the Triangle. The pandemic came, and also my own personal life event, and then I had to get a 9 to 5. And that's kind of where we met. I became a teacher, teaching home ec, and I saw a very big gap between what was actually what the industry actually looked like in the culinary and food and beverage world, and what was actually being taught to the students at the high school level. And I was just like, oh, it's a big disconnect. This is not what you kind of need to go into the industry. And the same stuff that was being taught when I was in home ec is the same stuff that's being taught right now.
Are you serious?
Yes. There wasn't a advanced curriculum. Still Serve Safe, which is a national thing you have to get for safety and sanitation. But the gap of like the different careers that people could be a part of, the different avenues that you can go into as it pertains to food, agriculture, ag tech, none of that was even being discussed. And so I decided that I wanted to stop teaching and go back to being an entrepreneur, because that is really what my passion is in teaching youth. And I catered, we dedicate Sprouts and Spice to like middle school and high school kids to kind of bridge that gap that is not being met in the school system. So that's kind of where it came from, coming from the pandemic and you couldn't get to food. So teaching kids how to grow their own food and then how to cook with it is our, things that we do in the business.
So how important is it that, one, the young people know how to grow their own food? Because like being from the North, you don't really hear that.
Yeah.
And then two, what ways do you grab their interest in it? Because it's not a phone. You know what I'm saying? It's not digital. It's not something that, this is something that they literally, for lack of a better term, have to put their hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
So what are your ways to grab them on that?
So the first thing that we do is when we start class, the kids will get their own herb garden that they take home and a cookbook that goes along with those herbs. So we start out with culinary herbs, and this is a new venture. So these are my big ideas that haven't all implemented yet. But to start, we teach them basil, rosemary, all of those culinary herbs. They get 8 herbs and they'll cook with that herb in every class. So they might make tomato basil soup in class, and then they'll have the recipe to go along with that book, and they get all of that to take home.
Okay.
So the difference is keeping it sustainable so that they're able to cook that afternoon snack.
Gotcha.
Or something quick for them to eat. Like I have an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old, and they want something quick and they want something that's still good, but also teaching them the nutrition behind it and where it comes from. So yeah.
Okay.
And how does that make you feel when you're seeing them take pride in learning, these meals?
At first, when I first started my business, I was like, okay, what am I good at when it comes to this? Yes, I'm good at the planning and making it a business, but what I love the most is teaching kids and seeing their excitement after they discover, I can really make my own meal from scratch. Even within my own kids, them seeing that they can make their own food, they're like, oh, I can be a chef like mom, or I can do what Miss Brittany does. So that's the joy I get out of it, knowing that they can, make their own food and they love it. And some of them go into careers afterwards. So yeah.
So then for the culinary side of it, what like educational background do you have so that when a parent comes to you like, so
do you know what you're talking about?
Right.
I mean, so drop that on.
So I am Chef Brittany. I have graduated from Johnson & Wales. It's one of the top culinary schools in the world. So I majored in culinary arts and did my bachelor's there as well in food service management. I was in the industry from age 16 to age 32 without telling all of them what I am now. So I've been in the industry from the front of house to back of house management. So my last corporate job, I was a general manager for Bridgestone Tires, the tire plant. So I managed a 24/7 cafe, and it was just me. So that's why I got out of corporate. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was a $2 million account. It was just me as in management as it pertains to the food and beverage part of it. So very stressful. And I had my son at the time that was 5, so I was like, I need to do something else that's not going to keep me away from my son once he starts school.
Right.
So that's where me having my own business was always the goal from culinary school and beyond.
Okay.
I always wanted to have my own business, but I never wanted to have a restaurant or a brick and mortar because of the overhead of it.
Right.
So Sprouts and Spice is different in that way. We are mobile. So we go to the child focused organizations and do these classes.
Oh, sweet,
Amazing.
sweet, cool. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, I got some more questions for you, just about your entrepreneurial endeavors, and we'll go from there. So this is TDS Radio. Come back with us with Miss Brittany for Sprout and Spice. Chef
Chef Brittany.
Sprouts.
And
Am I saying it without the S?
Yes.
Okay, because it feels like I'm lisping. I don't Sprouts and Spice. I didn't want to do that.
It's TDS Radio.
That was that hard.
No.
No.
She has got it, I think.
She does?
Mhm.
Okay. That wasn't so bad.
No, that was okay.
Three times now.
I wasn't soft.
Oh, for real? Okay.
You are too? I'm in years.
Three, two. It's TDS Radio. Your girl So Fab here, Coach
Yo.
Glock, and we are in the midst of our small business conversations.
With Chef Brittany, not Miss. I see. I met you as Miss in the classroom because we met at Inlow.
Yes.
So and we both hated it.
Ooh.
Not because
See, I didn't even say all of that.
Not because of the school. It
No,
was
no,
just
no.
because of how, like you said,
Things
curriculum.
the
Yeah.
curriculum, how things are structured, seeing black and brown kids coming in and out of my room and
Mhm.
seeing the struggles that they have to deal with compared to the other students. It was a lot.
So, Chef, speaking of struggle, let's speak to that. The reason why
Sure.
is because we have a tendency, especially because we're dealing with kids, we have a tendency to allow them to snack with poor behaviors.
Yes.
And a lot of people say that that is due to financial situations.
It is.
So how can we get around that?
That is one of the reasons why I started Sprouts and Spice. I myself have had to struggle with my weight
Mhm.
due to being fed foods that were not healthy foods. I come from a family of 6 kids and I'm the second oldest. So, shout out to my parents. They still did a great job. But the food that we ate was a lot of processed foods.
Mhm.
I grew up on like Pop-Tarts and cereal and
Noodles and noodles.
ramen noodles, or I was really like Chef R.D. Frank's, breakfast for dinner. It was 6 of us and we're all a year apart. So it's not like my parents had a break in between there. And I got 3, so I already know how it was 6. So the convenient food, that is the number one thing that is killing Black people, and it's like nobody's paying attention to it for real. And so if I can help in any way to kind of change that narrative or change that, starting with our youth, then that's my goal.
Okay.
That's my goal on why I'm incorporating seed to table curriculum and programming, so that our kids know where our food comes from. Like, I never even heard about farm anything until after college, and that was on my own research. Now, when you go to culinary school, there's a lot of farm to table initiatives, and there's agriculture classes now, and they're, you know, going into the ag tech. That's brand new. But even when I went to culinary school, farm to table was not a big thing, at least not where I was positioned to get jobs from. That wasn't a thing. And I worked at Marriott hotels to the Carolina Panthers, and so that wasn't a thing. And so my goal is so that kids can learn nutrition, sustainable agriculture, and culinary arts, so that it's still fun, but they also get that education piece of it.
Got you. So then mom says, Chef Turner, I only got an extra towards snacks, we'll say $30 to $40 a week. What am I going to the grocery store to buy that's healthy, that can take us through a week?
There's a lot of different things. My kids, I make them like a tomato and basil baguette. A piece of baguette might be $1 or $2 if you're going to Aldi's and you're really saving like I do or something, or Food Lion. And you get a baguette, you just slice it, toast it, put some mozzarella cheese on it and some basil, drizzle some balsamic vinegar on it. And my kids love that. Or even grilled cheese. You can still make grilled cheese healthy. A lot of people are on food stamps, or they're on WIC, and you get free bread with WIC. That's whole wheat, and you get cheese. So you can get a whole wheat grilled cheese sandwich that you can make if money is tight.
Am I using all the butter?
Not all the butter. Now, butter is not bad. I feel like butter gets a really bad rep. I cook with just butter, and don't judge me off of what I look like. No, stop. But I'm a chef, so of course I've tried all food, but butter is not bad. Butter can be considered a healthy fat if you're not overdoing it. Right? So if you're putting 4 sticks of butter in everything, 4 tablespoons of butter in everything, that's excessive. Right. But if you're using a tablespoon to coat your pan because you're making a grilled cheese, that's better than using spray palm oil or corn oil that's not good for you, right? So there's alternatives. You can use olive oil, you can use avocado oil, that's a good healthy fat as well. They are a little bit more expensive, but Food Lion has a little olive oil you can get that's just as cheap as other ones. Now, if you're using a whole bunch of oil, you're trying to deep fry something, you're gonna need a whole bunch of oil, but you shouldn't be getting that anyway. You should be frying it. So you don't need all of that. You can fry in olive oil. It has a higher smoke point than butter does. So if you're pan frying something, there's nothing wrong with that. If you pan fry something, you might be vegan, you might be flour in it, and some mushrooms and some oil. It's okay. But use a healthier oil.
So for those who don't know, because I'm just now understanding this, explain vegan, because somebody may say, oh, this is vegan, but it's like, what is that?
So vegan is just, you do not eat any animal products, so no byproducts as well. So eggs, cheese, yogurt, you wouldn't eat any of those things. You would get a vegan option. But all these new vegan options that are out here are not always healthy. So somebody might say I'm vegan, and you might be like, you're vegan, but your body don't look vegan, because some of them are unhealthy vegans where they're eating a whole bunch of potatoes, and they might fry their food, or they're eating these cream cheese alternatives that are just as bad of ingredients, like with oils and additives and chemicals that are not good for you. So you really have to read the packaging when it says vegan. I went vegan last year for a month, and it was great. It wasn't bad. I had real low energy because because I changed up my diet.
Yeah.
But honestly, I felt more, my mind felt more clearer. I wasn't as foggy. My joints stopped hurting, like my ankles and my knees and stuff. So what we are consuming and what we are eating is really affecting our bodies. And I think what we consume as a culture compared to other cultures, it affects our bodies more than any other culture. And so I think it's definitely time for us to start paying attention to that, because it's killing us. We're like 40% more to die from heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure. And luckily, I don't have any of those things yet, but that's why I'm trying to, make sure my own children eat healthy. Like my kids eat Brussels sprouts. And I might just put a little Parmesan cheese on it to make them want to eat it.
Brussels.
Whatever.
So my kids were the same way. So what
that.
I do is I roast them, put a little olive oil, roast them in the oven, put a little cheese on top, like Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and they love it.
Girl, when can I come over and eat?
Let me know when, anytime, because we eat
Everything you suggested. I'm like, yes.
Listen, we eat, okay? We eat. Or even if I want my kids to eat broccoli or something like that, I may put, cheese on it. Cheese is like a thing that kids, they see cheese, it's like, ooh, cheese.
Right.
So you can make, my little one, I'll give him, it's a convenience food that you can get, but they're broccoli tots. They're made with broccoli. There's no other added ingredients but broccoli and cheese, and it's something you can put in the oven. I just call them chicken nuggets. He don't think about chicken nuggets. He just dip them in the ketchup and he eats them, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So it's just about, and it's really about starting them young as you can, to start eating healthy.
Okay.
Because when you try to get to that middle school and high school, you got to kind of teach them what to do to cook for themselves, because that's the age when they start to really get in the kitchen. Mom might not be home and they got to make something for themselves. So, that's our goal, for them to learn how to do it themselves.
Cool.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So when you have students who are just kind of frustrated, or they're just like, I don't know if this is for me, how do you kind of coax them and get them, to see that it's not as hard as you think?
Usually I give those students a one-on-one, because usually it's not that they don't want to do what I'm doing. They might have some other issue going on, right? On why they don't even want to try. Some kids, I have one kid that's my kids. One kid is really quiet and one kid is very boisterous. So, being in the industry, I've learned how to deal with different personalities to be able to get them to do what I need them to do, how I need them to do it. So I feel like that's a skill. And even with kids, you have to learn, you got to have a special kind of skill to kind of deal with kids, their mood swings and behaviors and stuff like that. And I think that I have a gift in that part. So I don't really have too much pushback when it comes to, okay, let's just try. Let's just see if you can do it. Most students want to cook something because they know they're going to eat afterwards. So
Absolutely.
they're like, oh, I'm trying to eat one.
Now, as someone who you've done the work, like you've gotten the education and you're constantly putting it into practice, you're doing the research. When you see people on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, who are the chefs, but they're only going by, recipes that they may have found or creations that they're making. Everybody's frying crab legs and making salmon nuggets. How does that make you feel, someone who has been in the field and who has done the work?
I mean, it doesn't make me feel any way, because, whatever's your lane, that's your lane. I'm not here to hate, do you? But I think it definitely makes kids think and make people think that's how you should eat all the time, right? So if there's a influencer that's out there and that's all they make on Instagram, it's like, I know you're not eating that every day,
right?
And it takes you time to make this content, because I make content,
right?
So I know it takes you time to make this content, and you're basically perpetuating the stereotype of fried, cheesy, greasy food that's not good for us, and it's, like I said, it's killing us. So it bothers me a little bit, but it's nothing I can do. Now, there's nothing wrong with making something with some sugar in it, or something with some, fried or whatever. But my goal is to teach people how to use cheap ingredients, for our underserved community or people that look like me, because I know what it is to make a meal out of nothing, but still keep it nutritious. So my goal, even when creating my recipes for our garden cookbook, is to, do ingredients that kids can get on WIC, kids can get on, you can get on food stamps, you get on those type of programs so that you don't got to worry about, okay, do I have enough to make this recipe? So yeah, it bothers me, but it's fine.
Cool. So what we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. And what I'm going to jump into is more of the entrepreneurial side that you are getting into, a little bit of the actual structure of
the road,
the business,
the journey.
Yeah, the business. We're going to stand on some business when there we go. Cool. So this is TDS Radio. We'll be back with more with Chef Brittany when we return.
You good? We are. How long you been in talking?
I don't know, like 15 minutes?
Almost 20.
Oh.
Almost 22 to be exact.
So we got 2 minutes on this phone.
Okay.
Am I answering your question?
Yes.
Okay. Come on. I'm like, do you offer meal prep? Because, honey, I'm ready to come and eat. Like, when is dinner? Everybody always asks me that. Can you meal prep for me?
It's TDS Radio, your girl So Fab, Coach Block,
Yo.
and Sprouts and Spice.
Hello.
Brittany
Gotta make
Turner
sure
in
you
the
put that
building.
S on it.
Yes.
Sprouts.
Sprouts and Spice,
Spice.
Agricultural Academy.
Yes.
Yes.
We try to keep the agriculture out. It's kind of long, but you know,
Hello. Throw it in there.
put it in there
So
quick.
first thing about starting a business is one, you see a need.
Yes.
Okay. So then once you see that need, you said, all right, I got to sit down and create curriculum of how I want this to
Yes.
flow in and out.
Yes.
And so one thing that we like to talk with our entrepreneurs about, because, there's a lot of people at home hoping to take the step that you've taken, which is I am going to try it. You know what I mean? Because none of us know if it's going to work. We all pray that you're going to hit a home run.
Yes.
But we know along the way that you might trip getting on some bases.
It's gonna be some obstacles.
It's going to be some obstacles. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, so that you can help the next entrepreneur take the jump.
Okay.
So what are some of the things that, like when you're saying, okay, I found the need, I found the problem, and I can solve it. What did you immediately do next?
Okay, so let me go back. When I started Little Musical Chefs, it wasn't really a need. It was more so, I'm tired of corporate. I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do my talent was what I said, which is I'm a singer and I'm a cook. So I was like, I'm about to put these together and we about to make this thing happen. But in that, I knew that I needed to figure out who my target audience is. And so that's important. When you're trying to start a business, you need to figure out who you're targeting. And so when I started Little Musical Chefs, my target was preschools, daycares. And it kind of came out of me just looking for another position as a music teacher. And then I saw a need that there are no music programs that go to these places. So that's kind of how that formed. And then that same thing of me branding, I call it a rebrand of Little Musical Chef to Sprouts and Spice. I first started the business with that same thing. Okay, we should do preschool, little kids, and then I was like, maybe not. I think I need to focus on middle and high school kids because that's where the biggest need is. And I saw so many of my students outside of the classroom after I stopped working at Enloe that were in food service jobs.
Correct.
And these kids told me up and down, I would never. I'm not gonna be working at no fast food place. I said, listen to me. That is gonna be your first job. Okay. So if you like it or you enjoy it, once you get into it, you need to pay attention to my class.
I know that's right.
But they didn't listen to me. They did not listen to me. When I was telling them this. And so one of my students actually saw her and she was working at the barbecue place in Nightdale. You know, the one that like closes, it's new.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but
I don't really go to Nightdale.
It's a really good barbecue place that everybody was talking about. But anywho,
okay.
I saw her there. I saw her there and she was working behind the counter. Of course, she's graduated now. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're like, what do you have, you know? And she's like, oh my gosh, Miss Turner, I should have listened to you. I actually like cooking. And then I was like, I told you to pay attention to my class.
Right.
So, you know,
barbecue?
that might be it.
They got a 4.8 rating, girl.
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, superb barbecue. Okay, for the best I've ever had. I tell the manager, I said, listen, it's the best barbecue I've ever had. But anyway, so what was your question?
No, the after you address the need. What was the next step?
So after you address that need is finding your target audience. And so that was just me seeing her and I had actually just came back from this Business Accelerator when I saw her, which was crazy. But anyway, me seeing that the need was an actual like a full circle moment, like, okay, Brittany, this is what the kids need. Because if she would have had a little bit more training with me, maybe the second year of me being a teacher, she could probably be in a different type of position. Maybe she could be the shift manager. Maybe she could be the person in the back cooking. You get what I'm saying? So I saw that it was, something that kids need. But anyway, your target market is the next step that you want to look at.
So did you have once you've seen that, you knew your target market, how do we take that jump? Was there fear? Because like you said, I want to leave corporate, but then you also know with corporate, that paycheck hitting.
Don't do what I did. No, don't do what I did. I got so frustrated. I just, gave my 2 weeks, but then it was like, some corporate stuff that went back and forth and I had to leave. But anyway, you want to make sure you have enough income to cover your expenses. If you're going to jump into entrepreneurship, you need a little bit of money to make money. You can't just kind of go into it like, oh, I'm just going to whatever. Right. Yeah. Dream. Now, if you got a husband or something like I do and he can support you while you're trying to do your dream, great. That's where I am now. But that's great. But you want to have at least something saved. And I did have some saved. So at least something saved or a plan that your business is going to be funded. And so Sprouts and Spice is kind of in the mix of having clients and possibly getting funded. So as a business, there's venture capital firms that can say, hey, we want to invest in your company, or we like your product and we want to invest in your product. So you can go that route, but make sure in that time you have some savings saved up.
Yes,
Amen.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you don't want to be struggling out here because you got a dream. And
Right,
as a
right.
creative or as a person that has that entrepreneur spirit about them, you always got all these ideas and all these different things you want to do. And you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. What I have learned from being in business accelerators and talking to a lot of people who already got the money, you need to start with your MVP, and that's your minimum value product, your minimum thing that you can make money with right now in the moment. Even if you decide to leave your job, make sure that it's something that you can make money on right now. If you got a product and you're selling it, and you're saying, okay, I'm done with my job, then you got to go all in on that product, or you got to go all in on that service.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So then now what is some of the things that, because I like for people to get a little bit of understanding of the reality of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that keep you up at night where you're like, I can't go to sleep because
I
it's on
can't
my
never
mind?
go to sleep. I got a 2-year-old, so he likes to kid in our bed. But anyway, I think the things that keep me up at night are the big ideas. Like I can't eradicate all disease. You know what I'm saying? You can't eradicate like all homelessness or something like that. But sometimes I kind of take on like, okay, I have to do this because I have to be a part of the solution to this problem. That's what kind of keeps me up at night, because I'm like I said earlier, I'm on my own weight loss journey, and I don't want my kids to go through this. I don't want my nieces or nephews or kids, period, to have to worry about their weight and their knees hurting. And they, they don't think about it now because they're kids, but by the time you get my age, you shouldn't have to feel the way I'm feeling.
Right.
And it's all because of the food we're consuming.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
I think if there's a way to fix that globally, that's kind of what keeps me up, because I'm just like, how can I do this fast, efficiently, make a profit, and cure everybody? So those are the things that keep me up, for real.
Now, partnerships or anything like that, are there any other people that you would look to work with, or are there any other people who, and you may have kind of answered this earlier, but are there any other people that look like you around here that are in this same mind frame? Like, how do we as a collective help push the Sprouts and Spice mission?
Well, honestly, I have just started to reach out to people that are in the area. I reached out to a girl in Durham, and she has a company called Food Vibes, and she does kind of the same thing, cooking with kids. I know there's another person that is like a baker, and she teaches in Nightdale. So kind of just finding them. And a lot of that involves me being on the computer or being on Facebook, being a part of groups on Facebook, being on Instagram, and finding the people that are local to where I am that can either partner with me on doing what I'm doing, or want to serve the community in the same way that I do. Because I don't know if I said this, but Sprouts and Spice is for the underserved community. That's the other part of it. It's for the underserved community. Don't want to be a full nonprofit because you can't sell a nonprofit. But if you ever want to exit, you can't sell it. You have to just dissolve it. But that's another topic. So don't want to be a full nonprofit, but still want to be able to be for profit, but still want to serve the people that need it. Is another struggle. So yeah.
What has been the general response to Sprouts and Spice, or is there some people that still don't understand it? So tell me what's been
The response is, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. This is great. Oh, this is such a neat idea. I've never heard about, never heard anyone doing something like this before. And my response is, thank you. I appreciate that. If you can point me in the direction to help fund this idea, that would be awesome. So having the idea that it's a unique idea that no one else has actually tapped into yet, even though this is a $1 billion market, nobody's really tapped into what the big picture is. And I don't really want to go into the whole big picture, but what the big picture is. And I was actually in a business accelerator where I had to like compete against other businesses. And I was chosen as a finalist, 10 other businesses that were chosen here in North Carolina.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So you had to compete for one of the $10,000 prizes. And my business hasn't been in business that long, so I might not have the finances that the other businesses have had, but I'm in a room with people who have the money. Right? I'm in the room with people who could help me fund my business. I had to pitch my business to investors. And the consensus in the room is what I just said. Oh, this is a great idea. This is wonderful. Maybe leave the black thing out. Maybe
we need a sound effect.
Curb that out. Because you're in a room with people who don't look like you.
Right.
And you're trying to convince them that this is something you need for your people. And they're like, okay, that's cool. Anybody gonna give you no money, you say that. So that's kind of the pushback. I mean, and that's what I'm going through right now. Like, how do I market this so that I can have enough money to do this? Or do I have to be a nonprofit? And then that's the only way I can be funded or I can, have investors. Because like I said, you need a little bit of money to make money.
Absolutely.
So how does that piece right there of y'all wow, like, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of that's how I would take it. Y'all wow. How do you
stay motivated? Because you're essentially crushing my dream and my mission statement.
Right. Like
that. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like a punch. It's like you hit me. I felt that and it hurt. But I still got a mission I got to complete.
Right.
I still have a vision that I know was given to me and I have to make sure it gets done.
Right.
So that's kind of, I'm a New Yorker, so don't nothing kind of move me no way. You know what I'm saying? I've been through personally a lot in my life, and I could have let depression hit me and, any and everything hit me and stop me from doing what I feel like I should be doing. And you just gotta have the determination and I know people say you need determination and willpower and consistency, but that thing is real. Like if you want it, you gotta fight for it, and eventually, it may take a couple of fails, but eventually you'll get there.
Right.
So I just had that belief that somebody will see it, somebody will pick it up. I mean, I try to go viral sometimes, but it don't work like that. So even with all my creativity and all my talent, I try to use all things. So if I get a video that goes viral off of cooking and singing, then great. If it goes viral off of me promoting Sprouts and Spice, great. But I'm still gonna make sure, what those visions are and those entrepreneur dreams are come to pass. But how it comes to pass may not be the traditional, hi, I'm pitching my business. Would you like to invest? It might not be that way.
Right. But like you said, sometimes all you need is that one person.
All you need is one. All you need is one person to believe. And I feel like somebody's going to catch on and say, hey, let me help you with that. There's people, sitting right now. I don't know what to do with my money.
Right?
I don't know what. got all this money. I don't got nobody to give it to. You know? So hopefully somebody will see me somewhere and be like, oh, okay, I like what she's doing.
Yeah.
But you still got to keep going, still got to keep grinding until you get to where you want to be.
Bet. Now, before we slide out of here, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you with this. And if there was that person watching, how can they get you to
How they can get an invite to get some food.
Yes. So our website is www.sproutsandspiceacademy.com. You can go on there and check out all of the things, all of the pictures. We also have our Soul House and Catering on that website as well. So if you have a small, intimate catering of 55 people or less, we do that as well. Like I said, you gotta grind for what you want. And so I do multiple things to try to make sure all things happen. So I do catering as well. Instagram, Chef B Sings. TikTok, Chef B Sings. Sprouts and Spice on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us. Yeah.
Cool. So then, since it's Chef B Sings, is there something you can sing us out on so we can get out of here and sing us a goodbye or something to the listeners that are listening? I was gonna get you because if you guys go follow, she sings all the time.
I do sing all the time.
Is there something you can get us out of here on?
What y'all in the mood for?
I don't know. You could just be saying goodbye.
Oh, singing a goodbye?
Yeah, it could be saying goodbye.
Come on, Dream Girls.
No. No, we ain't gonna do that,
Yes, girl, because it's hard to say goodbye.
Oh, we can sing that. Okay. Let me think. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Well, thank you, ma'am. And we appreciate you coming here. And please don't be a stranger.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem. And we will definitely, we will tag everything so we can get the Sprouts and Spice message out there.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All it takes is one.
All
We're
it
claiming
takes
it.
is
We're claiming it, y'all. We
one.
claiming it.
2024, we claiming it. Just takes one.
Just takes one.
All right. And then Kim and I will be back tomorrow with some fabulous foolishness. So please continue to listen and keep it locked tomorrow. We'll see you at 5:30.
All right.
TDS Radio.
Okay, we good. Yes, girl, you better sing and take us to church. Like,